Hey, good morning. Spud here, Spud's Outdoors. Today we're going to cover something that's pretty simple, fairly quick to do, but I'm going to show you how to do it. What is it? It's your door. Well, it doesn't shut right. It doesn't close right. The gap's not right. Whine. Okay. Just like that. When I got out, I leaned on the door. I bet you do the same. If you do, if you don't, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how to adjust it either way. First thing you're going to do is take note of how the gap is on your door. Where is it closer? It'll give you an idea of which one of these to adjust. The biggest thing to remember is that gravity takes this down. Whether the bolts slide in the gap in the hinge, top or bottom, this usually goes forward, this usually goes backwards. Sometimes you might have the door open a crack and the wind catches it and it folds open, bends the hinge here or here. So what we're going to do, biggest thing, we're going to take a look right here and see where this latch is and how it lines up on the mount. And let's take a look. Okay, so what you're going to do, again, watch the latch and how it comes together. And you're going to see that it's low. That the gap here is bigger than the one up here. Then when you go to close it, it doesn't always latch. See that? That's a half latch. You're going to want this gap to be closed all the way before you take off screaming down the road. So what do we need to do? We need to raise the door. Seeing as there isn't a whole lot of room here, you can move it a little bit. This one is more for in and out, but you can also go up and down slightly. But that's why you're going to want to compare how this latches, how it closes, to how the door fits on the outside in this gap. That'll give you an idea of what to do and where to adjust first. Like I said, there is a little bit of wiggle room here. Otherwise, if your door doesn't line up very good on the outside, you're going to want to address that. Okay, so remember, the front of the door, to match that pin, we need to go up. So the easiest way to do that is to go backwards with the door. We'll take a look here. The door cannot go backwards any farther in the slot of the gap on this, oops, sorry about that, in this bracket. As you can see, the door is in the background, and there's no more room in the bracket to go this direction. Okay, so let's look at the bottom. Okay, this is the opposite. So we want to go up with the latch, and the only way to do that is to slide the door forward. Forward. And so here, there's no more room, right? All right. Well, there's no more room here. There's no room on the pin to go down to meet the latch in the middle. Like they said, that's all we're trying to do is get the latch in the middle. So now what? We'll take a look at your bracket in the back. Now there, it looks fine. Now what if we do this? You see how it's bent here? How it's pulled away? It's pushed back. That's what's creating the issue. Okay, now whether the wind took your door or whether you had somebody lean on your door too hard or whatever the case, there's a good chance that that's bent. Now there's two things you can do to straighten that out. Well, there's probably multiple ways. And one of them is going to be get you a 2x4, place it here, and use a hammer, hit the 2x4, flatten that guy out. Now that would be the quick way to do it, not the most kind way to your paint job. Otherwise you're going to take it off and flatten it with a vise. So this one's got a couple of rock chips, so the paint's not perfect. It all depends on what you're comfortable with, how much time you have, and what you're willing to do. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is take the pressure off that bottom bracket, and we're going to lift the door up and latch it. Windows open, that's going to help a lot. You're going to pull up on the door handle and right here, get it closed. Now to make sure it's closed, make sure that gap, I'm going to feel it, yep. So what it is, it's the gap of the door latch and the pin that's on the frame. You're going to make sure it closes all the way, like so. The gap is going to go all the way over like that. That's how you know it's latched all the way. That takes the pressure off this back bracket. You need one 13mm wrench, ratchet. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this nut off the top of the hinge. Again, 13mm, and then there's going to be 2 bolts on the back side of the bracket that are also 13mm. You're going to want to break them loose. You can work on them. Get this off. There's the nut. We'll set that aside for the moment. And like I said, the door is latched, so that should take the weight off of this somewhat. Okay, 1 bolt. See how the bracket's loosening up. 2 bolts. Put him aside over here. Now you can get him out of the way. See that curve? We need to get rid of that curve. So if you got a vise close by that's handy, you can clamp it down and get it to bend with a hammer or channel lock or something like that. But if you don't have a vise close by and you want to try to save your paint, we'll do it another way and see how that works. So we're going to clean it off and I'll set that up. All right, so like I said, we're trying to get rid of this bend here. So what I'm going to do, lay it flat on a 2x4 with a rag under it, wrap it around the top, and we're going to give it a gentle tap here with a hammer to get this straightened back out. So if you want to check your work, take mental note of what this looks like, take a picture, whatever you want to do, make your adjustment, and then reference your picture. Make a note of where you want to hit, right here. Now check your work. Still got a bend on it, doesn't it? Okay. Well, so you readjust your template. May have gone a little much. Now where we bent it back isn't precisely where I wanted to bend it back. And if you want faster results, you take it off the rug, because the rug adds a layer of padding so it bounces. So each smack doesn't exactly do what you want it to. Yeah, that was effective. So it straightened the knot, the bump we had out here, but we still have a little bit of a bend on this guy. That vise is going to be the fastest way. So you're going to make sure you don't misplace your little washer. Thread it back up through the bottom of the hinge. Get that nut started. Grab your bolts. Swing your hinge back into place. Make sure you can start your bolts a few turns by hand so you don't cross thread them. They should go in with ease, like how they came out, unless you've cross threaded them. And if you did that, you need more practice. So you're going to snug your bolts up, and there's a little bit of adjustability there too. What you're going to want to do is get that pin aligned really good with your hinge. There's not much play there. It's just something to take note of. Two bolts tight. Fasten down your lock nut. This is a lock nut. It's got that nylock thread on it, so it doesn't have to be He-Man Woman Hater tight. Just get it down to the bottom of the threads and seat it. You don't have to worry about over tightening. Because of this nylock, that should hold it into place just fine. So let's check our adjustment. Alright, so remember what we're trying to do is get in the center of that pin, so when the door latch goes across the pin, it closes evenly. Getting it close to that is your biggest priority at this point. It's a tough thing to film, so bear with me. It's behind the cup holder, but as you can see, our gap is pretty darn close. It's actually maybe a little high, but see now the gap is closed. So we made that adjustment in the back. I have not touched either of these. It's not a bad idea to make sure that these are tight. Sometimes they don't get tightened all the way at the factory or when they check them at the dealer, if they check them at the dealer. Anyway, what we're looking at, you got it open. How well does it close? It definitely closes easier than it did before. You want to feel that gap. You know, how well does it fold over the edge? You know, you get your pin and it's got to fold over like so. And if it's too high or low, that's where your problem comes from. So anyhow, closes much better, works much better. Speaking of work, I got to get there. So hopefully that'll help you out. It's all about your pin alignment, door frame alignment. Check your hinge, make sure it's not bent. The top one, that usually doesn't get bent. There's not much there. Pay attention to detail. That's your biggest enemy at some of these things. Is this bent perfect? Nah. Is it bent less? Yep. Does it work better? Yep. Did I scuff it up? Not really. So anyway, there's a small trick, help get your door back in alignment. I think you could spend less time doing this than you could complaining on Facebook about it. Just my opinion. Hopefully that helps. Like, share, subscribe, all the things. Thanks. See you next time.